Hey guys, LuckyHD here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I saw your guys' response to the latest video, which is the Scaricite little lore video, and a lot of you guys were saying that I should do Brutree next, and the entire history and lore around it. In this video, we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff with the Tanorio and Brutree, about where it came from, the design inspirations, and a couple secrets that will be revealed in this video. If you guys do enjoy this video, go down and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Alrighty, so if you've been a fan of the channel for a long time, you might have recognized Brutree as actually being an old Lumion design. And obviously, you know, there's been a bunch of old Lumion designs of mine that have gotten into TOT. However, Brutree was actually the first. Brutree dates all the way back to over almost 2.5 years ago. Basically, when Tales of Tanorio was first starting out, Brutree was actually suggested by me to be one of the first legendaries. And of course, everybody liked it at the time and agreed that, yeah, you know, let's do it. Now, Brutree was obviously created way before, you know, Tales of Tanorio even existed. However, it was added to the game, and Lampyro was actually created to be kind of the antagonist to Brutree. The entire conflict with Brutree and Lampyro that you guys see inside of the actual game has been an idea and something that we've actually wanted to do for literally ever. I mean, I'll show some screenshots up on screen, basically me workshopping the idea, but yeah, I mean, this entire thing we had, you know, just in the back of our heads for so long, and I actually ended up animating it in around, I think, October of 2023, on and off in school for around three-ish weeks, and I actually submitted it as my final in March, because I basically kind of used it as an excuse to work on it in class so long, obviously, that, you know, I use camera angles and everything else that we were learning in class. So it's technically a school project brought to life in Tales of Tanorio. Now, obviously, you might look at the new Brutree and realize that there are a lot of differences with the new Brutree and the old Brutree. And why is that? Well, first let's look at the old Brutree. The old Brutree was kind of meant to just be a very slow, kind of clunky, big, just thing, right? Kind of like a Reggie, since that was, you know, very much, I mean, what I based it off of. I mean, it was kind of like the Lumion Legacy version of a Reggie. And obviously, you know, when it came to actually thinking of a fight scene and all that stuff, it's hard to actually do a fight scene when your character is very slow. And the thing is, we already actually had a model for the new Brutree that I did, and everything was already animated and all of it was already done. However, I really just couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't what I really wanted it to be. You know what I mean? I always have this driving, you know, force in my head that everything that I make can always be better in some capacity. And, you know, I still feel like that a lot to this day. There's still stuff that I look back on and I think about how, you know, I would have done things differently, you know? And I think that's just the unfortunate kind of reality of being a designer, just in general. You know, whenever your skills get better and better and better, you always look back at your old work, and at least to me, sometimes I never feel satisfied. So that is another reason too why Brutree's original design was changed. And when I ended up telling the team that I was going to actually be remodeling it and redesigning it, it was met with a lot of skepticism. And again, I mean, it's kind of understandable. Personally, I don't really like how old Brutree looks. It's just, I don't know, it's something about it I'm not too big of a fan of. But again, a lot of the people on the team actually really liked Brutree. And again, they actually didn't really want me to redesign it, but I insisted, and I ended up creating, obviously, the new Brutree, to which mostly everybody on the team liked it. There is only one person, though, who still likes the old one, and that is Topia. Why? I don't really know. And when designing the new one, I wanted to keep a lot of the aspects, obviously, of the old design, considering that, again, a lot of people really liked the old Brutree and the entire concept and everything behind it. Now, in the old Brutree, as you would notice, there is a missing arm, and this arm actually came as a huge fight between Brutree and another member of the trio that it's in. Now, obviously, again, if you are a fan and, you know, you've seen these concepts and stuff like that in the past, you're gonna know who I'm talking about. However, you know, those designs obviously are going to end up getting changed, so I'm not gonna talk about them too much in the video, but basically, the other legendary in the trio ended up ripping off Brutree's arm, and with the new design, I thought, well, obviously, you know, we're gonna need to make this thing actually be battle eligible, able to fight, so what if instead of ripping off its arm, what if I just rip it in half, and instead give Brutree 2 massive arms as compensation for its body that was ripped in half? Now, you might be asking yourselves, where on earth did Brutree's legs go? Where did Brutree's legs go? And there's actually an in-game location where you can find Brutree's legs. And that is going to be, drumroll please, the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life, the massive tree that sits there, is actually Brutree's legs. After Brutree got ripped in half after the massive fight with the other legendary, obviously its 2 halves kind of fell off. You know, it got ripped in half. So it actually built up the strength with its arms, which are why its arms are so massive, and then its legs just sank into the ground. They just sank into the ground, and over the centuries of time, basically ended up growing into a new massive tree. So that is where Brutree's legs went. Brutree in general is a very caring and kind soul. Like, you know, it is not like the other 2 that are inside of the trio that obviously have wildly different personalities. Brutree instead is, again, just a Tanorian that has obviously been through a lot, and even if you read its actual Tanopedia entry, it states that after a great conflict, this Tanorian has secluded itself deep in the forest, where it protects all natural flora that encompass the region. Brutree is spiritually tethered to the region's plant life, and takes the pain for its removal. Brutree is a Tanorian that realistically has been through a lot. Obviously, in its design, you can literally see where it was ripped in half at, and also some other battle scars that it actually has on its body. I really think I need to stop making plant-type legendary Tanorians that are miserable, because first it was Flowwither, now it's Brutree. But hey, at least I made up for it with a very happy Tanorian, like the legendary Scytide. Look at this face. Now, obviously, too, we have to talk about the shiny of Brutree, which a lot of people have been asking about, and a lot of people have been making comparisons to Trevenant. Now, I am here to say that Brutree shiny was absolutely inspired by Trevenant. I mean, look at Trevenant shiny. Trevenant shiny, it's so good, man. You gotta take a tree with a good shiny, and you make another tree design, you gotta give it the same good shiny. Alright, the original shiny for the actual Lumion version was more of like a Sakura tree, which obviously is pretty cool, but I wanted to make it, you know, a very stand-out-ish shiny, especially considering the fact that Lampyro shiny is black and blue. Obviously, having a white and orangish kind of red shiny contrasts both of them just absolutely so amazing. Now, here is the new Brutree inside of a Blender, obviously. I actually ended up creating the new Brutree model all the way back in the summer of 2023. So it has been that long, obviously, since I have made Brutree, and I think as a design, it holds up super, super well, and obviously as a model and texture and everything as well, I think it is great in my personal opinion. Like I said earlier, if there were some things that I would change them, obviously. But I think as it stands, though, it is a pretty solid model and a pretty solid design as well. Being able to give life into these Tanorians and to these models is honestly one of the biggest pleasures I have of actually working on this game. I love obviously creating designs, creating creatures, and giving them life, you know, just like Brutree right here. Well, even though this is the faint animation, let's not show that. Anyways, yeah, so obviously this video was of course about Brutree. Let me know what, you know, other Tanorian you guys want me to make a video about. I know a lot of you guys want me to make a video about Lampyro. There's a lot of lore stuff that I'm gonna have to get checked with, like Topia and Bia, if I'm allowed to say some, you know, certain things. But yeah, guys, let me know obviously your thoughts about Brutree down in the comments below. Once again, one of my favorite designs that I have done for Tales of Tanorio, and yet again, just another, you know, design that has escaped the confines of being an ex-Lumion design, now current TOT design, and yeah, you know, we're bringing my babies home, alright? So one design at a time. But hey guys, thank you all so much once again for your support, even on Brutree, obviously, you know, all the way back from like 2021 to obviously now. It's crazy that so many people even just remember Brutree in general. Seeing everybody's reactions to obviously Brutree finally being inside of the game was absolutely amazing to see. But yeah guys, that about does it for this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below and what Tanorio I should do next, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. By the way, if you were wondering what I got on the actual assignment for the fight scene, I got 100. And it was worth 25% of my grade that year, so I think it was worth it.